And the fourth question for this video is, if you could have a gigantic billboard anywhere with anything on it to get the message out to millions of people, what would it say and why? It could be a few words or a paragraph. If helpful, it could be your codes or somebody else's codes. What codes do you often think about and live your life by? I would need 2 billboards. The first one is, hard work doesn't always pay. Hard work doesn't always pay, because I grew up on the side where I think they're mostly on the poor side of things. And I remember this other time I got the revelation. I was walking to work, to go catch a taxi to go to work, and I don't know if it's a everywhere issue, but in Johannesburg we have people that actually go through our trash to pick up things that they can recycle. These people, they are normally on the road from like 4 o'clock in the morning. Whenever you take out your trash, they're already there just before the trash truck comes in to pick up the things. And these people really work very hard. They have very little to show for it. And I think somebody else confirmed that for me. Maybe I was looking for affirmation when he said, it's quite sad because most people in Africa are one of the hardest working people, but they don't always get the pay that they always think that they're gonna get. Work hard pay doesn't always pay. To say just because you're working hard, just because you're the first one to wake up and get to the office, does not mean that you might be the one who's always rewarded. Just because you're the one who's always there with the kids doesn't mean that your kids will like you. That's what it means for me. Hard work doesn't always pay. And I remember in my head, I have this picture that I remember of those guys pushing in the trolleys, recycling everything else, just for them to get scraps, while somebody else can do exactly the same thing and then get, you know, whatever they're getting in multiples. Just a little bit. You wake up whenever you feel comfortable, you work whenever you feel comfortable, and then it pays. So for me, hard work doesn't always pay is what I will put up there as a big quote. The second one is on the second billboard that I'll put maybe adjacent to that one is, know your value. The reason why I would put know your value on the billboard is because half the time I used to ask people for less, even sometimes give out myself at no cost, at no value, at no cost to anybody. When somebody says, are you available, are you free, I will just say, yeah, sure all the time. My trade-off, I'm trading off valuable time so that I can slot in this person. So for instance, I needed time to wind off, and that is invaluable to me, but I would actually trade it in because somebody says, can you come to help me out with this project, or can you come help me out, I'm making a birthday party, I want you to come drink beer with me. And I know very well that drinking beer, the babalas, that whole, you know, cycle is gonna create a huge hullabaloo for me. But I would say, yeah, I'll just be there for the sake of people. So knowing your value, you would be able to has helped me out right now to navigate the decisions quite easier. So if somebody else is asking me for something, I can easily weigh it out to say, is this worth my time, yes or no? And know your value would be the biggest thing that I'll put on that billboard, to say, boom, know your value. If you know your value, you would know exactly what to do. Closer to that, as a sub, maybe a pamphlet, I would say, work hard, play hard is a fallacy. Just because I think that this whole thing of work hard, play hard is once you have, I like that idea of a conveyor belt. Like if you go into the airport, there's this belt that brings out your luggage into it. And apparently I'm seeing on TV that even in the factories they have that conveyor belt, and ever since they introduced the conveyor belt, things are working like smoothly. And I think once you have the conveyor belt working and then you stop the factory, to start it up again it takes quite a while. So this whole thing of us, you know, you're so focused all along, and then just there in the middle of nowhere you take a weekend away, or you take 2 months off, or you take a sabbatical. I know they would say, yes, it does help you to recover, but I think I was using it incorrectly. So I would go out, you know, party a lot, and then come with the babalas, and then come back, I'm like, oh, I'm ready to rock and roll, but not realizing that actually I switched off the conveyor belt, and then starting it up. When I come back from that party, it takes a while to move, to switch. While what I could do, work hard, play hard, just simply means I don't stop my conveyor belt, but I just switch to a different task. So for instance, if I was working with a project at work, and it's about analysis, when I'm switching, I can easily, work on something else different. I can make YouTube videos like this one, but it doesn't mean on that day I have to wake up at 12 o'clock at noon, just because, it's my off day. No, you still wake up. If I wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning, I still wake up 4 o'clock in the morning, still put up my shoes, still do a few exercises, stretch a little bit, and then I start to work. But I'll just switch from an analyst to, making YouTube videos. And that is my play hard. Play hard becomes task switching. Hence why you would see this other people, they play golf. I think that when they switch, they still put in the same effort on a different task. And then when they come back to the task that they were doing, the conveyor belt has never stopped. They just moved from one product to the